Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
morning.
Please, if you can rename yourself or write in the chat basically who you are in the country. I know there are people who are familiar and join this event every Wednesday, but might be other people who are joining for the first time. Okay, for the ones who are joining for the first time and kind of don't have the idea of what we do and who we are, let me start usually with the promo video that we start, and then we can carry on. Start again.
Hello, my name is Hitendra Patel. I'm the Managing Director of the Global Innovation Management Institute. I'd like to welcome you and join our vision and our mission of the Institute. Our vision is to democratize innovation everywhere. In organizations like universities or corporations, in high schools, in governments. And the idea is to unleash that creativity across the globe. Our mission is much more simpler. To train 1 million people worldwide, certify them, and unleash their creativity and their problem-solving skills to target any problem on this planet. The Global Innovation Management Institute has got certifications for individuals, for corporations, as well as for the government. And the whole idea over here is through certifications, people have the right to practice innovation. Through certifications, we create a roadmap for how to get better and improve as we get level 1 certificate to level 2 to level 3. We are today working with the Dubai government, the Qatar government, across Colombia, in Brazil, in the United States, helping these institutes and these countries become better in terms of their innovation journeys. We're working with corporations, giving them roadmaps, how they can go from level 1 to level 2. And we're giving certificates to individuals as they go from level 1, 2, 3, and 4 in terms of how they can actually innovate themselves, how they can innovate in teams, and how they can innovate in a company.
We've worked with several innovation consultancies, and we found the GIMI methodology to be able to help us democratize innovation very quickly across large groups of people.
Curriculum isn't enough anymore. We need to really be finding ways to expand the school into the community and bring the communities into the school. And design thinking and the GIMI impact model is what's going to help do that. I think that we really need to start looking for authentic, experiential learning opportunities for our students. And this is a really great framework that teachers can use that makes it easy to do.
The value that we see being part of the GIMI program is that we can offer capability building for students, for professionals, for corporations, and that's really exciting to be able to create a language that can help everybody connect with what strategic innovation is.
Today we've got 25 countries who are partners of the Global Innovation Management Institute. We'd like to see all 195 plus countries becoming part of this institute. So we are looking for training partners across the globe. We're looking for university partners in every one of those countries so they can be part of our network. And we would like to see companies and corporations around the world all embracing the certification programs of GIMI. And as a result, we can target any problem and we can solve any problem. Join us on our mission through certificates to give people the right to practice and a roadmap of how to improve.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, let me introduce basically GIMI Think Tank and what we do. So today, basically, as every Wednesday, we run this GIMI Think Tank, which is a weekly virtual forum composed of GIMI ambassadors, certified training partner, GIMI experts, our members, basically. All of us basically here are innovators and are consultants on innovation, professors, basically, or practitioners coming from different companies, big companies, institutions. The idea is that goal of this GIMI Think Tank is to create a fluid and solid community of innovators around the world to spread and create awareness of innovation and innovation management and share valuable and cutting-edge knowledge, basically from distinguished speakers around the world. We talk about trends, we talk about innovation in general, we talk about state of innovation in different countries, and usually we talk also about GIMI progress in different countries around the world. We are really happy to have today Manuel from Essentia. He has like a very interesting topic, which we'll learn more about sINNplify and to democratize innovation. But I would leave to my colleague Carolina to introduce, as it should, Manuel. Thank you, Carolina. The floor is yours.
Okay, Edilia, thank you very much, and thank you everyone for being here. As always, it's a pleasure to host you all and to have amazing speakers like Manuel today. So let me give a brief introduction of Manuel. He is the Vice President of Growth at Essentia. Essentia is one of the largest petrochemical companies in Latin America, and he's playing a pivotal role as a strategic focus on sustainability and innovation across the whole organization. So he has more than 20 years of experience, and he has been instrumental in shaping the future of organization by spearheading research and development and innovation and new business development across the different organizations that he has worked before, and of course, right now at Essentia. He brings a lot of experience, particularly in exploring, designing, and successfully implementing new business models at corporations. And he has been always focused as well on circular economy, new product development, innovative materials, as well as maintaining a strong commitment to fostering robust innovation networks. Manuel has a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering and an MBA from a top school also in Latin America. And he also owns some of the patents across the globe. So thank you very much, Manuel, for being here. And I'm going to give you the floor now to speak about this amazing topic of sINNplify to democratize innovation. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Carolina. Hi, everybody. Okay, well, let me share my screen so we can start our conversation. Give me a second. So, I think that, can you see it now?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay, here we go. So, thanks again. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, everybody, wherever you are. At the moment, I'm in Houston because I'm attending a chemical recycling conference just connected and related to all these sustainability projects that we at Essentia are working on. Today, what I want to share with you, what I want to talk to you guys is the experience that we have had in our company at Essentia with innovation and how we decided to simplify it to actually make it accessible, to make it really a democratic thing that everybody can participate in. So please interrupt me whenever you want, if you have a questions, but if not, at the end, we will have a specific Q&A session, so please just attend to the conversation. Okay, so Carolina was talking about myself, and she was profiling me, and there were several titles and experience, but I think that the most important thing is the person who is behind all that words, and this is who am I. I'm Diana's husband. She's in the picture. She's my wife, and also Lupe, or Guadalupe's father. And I always like to introduce them because they are the reason what I'm doing all this stuff. This picture is really important for me every time that I'm giving any kind of a speech or making a presentation, because at the end, what we are based on those persons or those people that are inspiring us to do something different. In my case, I want to change the world for my daughter, Guadalupe, but I also want to train somehow a better daughter to help the change that I want to occur in the world. So that's something that I always want to let people know, that Manuel is not Manuel because of all the experience, those 20 years in the field, all the projects. No, Manuel is Manuel because of the inspiration that I have at the end to run all the processes, to lead all the projects, and to make things happen for those girls that are in the picture. And that's really important for me. Saying that, I also want to let you know a little bit more on Essentia. Essentia, it's a petrochemical company. So it's a B2B business. So it's really inside of the core of the industry. But we've been changing that, and we've been extending our network to go all the way up and down in the value chain, so we can connect not just with our client and customers, but with the end, actually with the final consumer of any product that our clients are making, and also going all the way back to connect to the roots, to the supply chain, to the raw materials. And the idea of doing that is because we want to transform our company and to transform ourselves for sustainability. That's the reason that we are doing that. And a little bit explanation. Well, Essentia is the first explorer in the manufacturing sector in Colombia. We are producing around 500,000 tons per year of polypropylene, and also around 30,000 years of master batches and compounding. And we're also commercializing some other polymers. So what we do is actually to produce and sell raw materials for the plastic industry. And so it's a quite hard and very technical business. And it's a challenge. And I'm saying this because for us, being in this kind of industry is quite complicated to introduce innovation and to make it simpler, easier to manage. That's why we change the way we think. Well, there's also some more information. We are part of the Ecopetrol Group, that is the oil and gas and state-owned company in Colombia. That's also is putting some challenges in the process, because we have to be part of the public sector in Colombia, and all the policies and the governmental regulation that we have to attend to are also putting kind of barriers that we have to deal with, and trying to do innovation in that kind of environment is always a little bit trickier than expected. So talking about innovation, today I'm not gonna explain anything about how to actually do innovation. I'm going to tell you our part of the story, how we're doing it in Essentia, how we change the way we do it in the past, so we can accelerate and we can democratize innovation. This picture, I like it a lot, because when you think about innovation, a lot of people feel like this picture. There's so much information, there's so much things to take into account, and innovation it's getting complicated every time that you're trying to innovate. It's getting harder, it's getting more complex in the whole processes. And for us, it was the same. We were having a quite complicated process. We were having issues when innovating. So we decided to change that. And how we do it? Well, we decided to change and to simplify. And the first thing to simplify is to introduce the actual innovation process in the simplifying process. So we were able to enlighten ourselves, to think differently, and to find a focus where we can do something different. And with that different kind of light, we were able to be successful, and I'm gonna tell you about it. So we decided to entangle innovation to eliminate fear, because what we found was that a lot of people were not innovating and were not actually putting their ideas into the table, because they were feeling afraid of the whole innovation process. And you may be wondering, why was that? Well, the first reason was we were not simplifying the speech. We were more into, in this example, and for sure you all know it, it's actually really old, because as you can see, that iPod is like from 15 or 17 years ago. And the explanation on the right, as you can see it, is based on the playing characteristic of the device, the weight, size, capacity, and it was quite complicated to understand. And the issue with this kind of explanation, and when you translate that into processes, is that you're making it so detailed and complicated that actually brings fear into the table, but also make it like bored, and you're gonna be bored about trying to do something. On the other side, in the left side of the picture, you can see a simple explanation that is really attractive. 1,000 songs in your pocket. And when people understand this kind of actual characteristics that are really a benefit for them, they always forget about of the right side of the explanation, and they get into the device because they find that it's quite attractive. It's simple and it's what they need. So inspired on that, we decided to change our process. This picture contains actual slides of the process that we had maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And to be honest, when I joined the company, Essentia, I found this and I understood that the main reason that why we were not being successful at the innovation process was because it was so complicated, so robust, so heavy for people who doesn't know all the things that you need to know to be innovative, that we were actually setting the barrier. We were actually building a wall against people to innovate. And we were also having a lot of big words, a lot of complicating concepts. And because of that, people were being reluctant to participate into the actual process. And I remember at that time, we were we always present ourselves to these innovation rankings in Colombia, not to, and the idea to do that is not to be in the picture. Yeah, it's always nice to be in the picture, and maybe if you make it to the news and all this kind of into all this kind of networking stuff and the social media and the stuff is quite nice. But at the end, what we wanted to know about being in the rank is to define the gap, where, because all these rankings, they have a specific set of standards to evaluate all the companies and the people that present themselves to the rankings. And because of the standard, it's quite exigent, and it's really complicated to be in the top. So we decided to present so we can evaluate ourselves and we can understand the gap that we had at that moment to compare to the state that we wanted to be. And maybe 6 or 5 years ago, we were really down in the list, and we understand that one of the things that we were doing is that we were setting that wall that I mentioned before on the innovation process. So we decided to change. The actual way we did at the moment the innovation process, and we decided to change it from the beginning. The first thing that we did was simplify the way we talk about innovation. And I like this picture a lot because, as you can see, this is a baby books. There's a book that tried to help babies to use and to pronounce their first words. Let's Talk is the name. And what we wanted to do is actually going that same path to simplify the wording, to simplify the explanation of our innovation processes, so people can understand it easier and in a faster manner. So if they can understand the main purpose of innovation within the company, they will be able to say, okay, I want to be part of that. And the idea of democratizing innovation is to encourage people to participate, no matter if they don't know anything about innovation processes, no matter if they only have an idea and they want to make it real, but to let them understand how to participate in the actual innovation process. So we end up having this innovation model. As you can see, this is actual the innovation model that we have in the company, and it's based in three simple pillars, three simple words that inspire us to actually do innovation. The first thing is we want to train. We want to train people. We want to train to promote innovation culture within the company and also to increase capacities. And when we say train, it's not a matter of teaching every single person at the company all the methodologies and all the processes and maybe how to do Scrum or Agile. No, to train people in the actual meaning of innovation for us. So it's, if you have an idea, don't worry, go look for it, and we will help you to train that kind of behavior so we can promote the culture of innovation within the company, and everybody will be able to do innovation. The second thing is transform. We are doing innovation because we want to transform the way we do things. We want to do it bigger, bolder, and better. We want to take every single process that we're running at the company, no matter if it's a financial process or a production process or whatever the area that we're talking about. We want to improve that kind of things. We want to do what we are doing in a daily basis. We want to do it better. We want to do it easier. We want to do it simpler, so we can accelerate the processes in the company. And the third one is grow. We want to innovate to grow, to improve sustainability, and also to improve the organizational evolution. We want to evolve into a better organization. We want to evolve in a better business. We want to impact more sides of the world, and also starting from Colombia. We want to be a more social, responsible company. We want to be a more stable and financially suitable company. So we want to grow. We want to diversify. We want to go into different business models. So if we know that we are doing this because we want to grow, people are going to understand. So we end up having this actual model, and it helps us a lot for people to understand why and what we are doing. And as you remember, the previous slide that was so complicated, and instead of having all those big words and the factories, innovation factories, and all this, the funnel and all that stuff, we decided to just show this one because it was easier for the people. Then we decided to simplify the way we do innovation. So at the beginning, it was the way we talk about innovation. Now, the doing. We decided to simplify this way that we were doing things. And to simplify doesn't mean to change the actual methodologies, to change the processes, to change the complexity that is part of the innovation process. We decided to change it in a different manner. The change and the way that I like to explain this is like the Formula One teams. I don't know if everybody is fan or at least know what is Formula One, but in this kind of racing teams, as you can see in the picture, there's a lot of complexity. And trust me that the pilot, for example, Lewis Hamilton or Leclerc or Carlos Sainz, those guys, they're not experts in every single thing. As you can see in the picture, you can have here, for example, aerodynamics on the bottom. You can see the simulation of the aerodynamics of the car. And also you can see, for example, the helmet. There's a specific engineering team that are working on designing the helmet to make it safer, but also lighter. There's also the tires. There's different compounding materials for the tires depending on the weather. It is raining, and also the motor, the engine, and there's different parts of the car. As you can see, the actual Formula One team and the car itself is so complicated. But trust me, the pilots, for sure, they can understand a little bit of these kind of technical things, but they are not an expert. What they do in the Formula One teams is that they have a pit crew that is always supporting the pilot, and they are dealing with the complexity. So they are allowing the pilot just to focus on the driving, and the driving to win. So when the run is happening, the pilot it's being helped every single second in the process of driving, and there's a lot of people behind, engineers and mechanics and all that stuff, helping them to be successful. And what we wanted to do at Essentia was pretty much the same. We decided that all the complexity of the innovation processes was going to be handled by the innovation team. So all the required tools, all the methodologies, all the things that are quite complicated, for example, dealing with Scrum or Agile or design thinking or no, I forgot the names of the stuff, but all these methodologies that sometimes are quite specific, we don't need every single person at Essentia to understand, to know the details. What we wanted to do is allow them to be part of the innovation process. So we decided that the innovation team, our team, they will know all the methodologies and the tools, and they will help the people that wanted to innovate. So if somebody has an idea, the idea, sorry for the redundancy, but the idea is to help this specific process to be simpler and not necessarily to understand all the methodologies at the bottom of the process. So for example, if somebody at the plant, the operation process, an operator actually, that doesn't know anything about this, has an idea, we can help that guy or that girl to implement the idea and to make it real without having problems with the complexity. So we decided to simplify the mechanisms to activate our model, and we grouped all the activities in this simpler manner. So we decided that for example, we needed to increase the resources. So we decided to increase the alliances that we have at Essentia. And doing that, we increased the capacities because all the things that we didn't have at the moment or we don't have right now, we can find it somewhere in the world, and we can make an alliance so we can bring those capacities to the company and to the person that is trying to implement a new idea, and to use those kind of resources in a different way. Resource management, we decided to keep that stuff in a different section. All the team is dealing with that because it's so complicated. For example, if you're applying for resources from the government, for example, from the science ministry, and it's quite a process. So it's like writing a PhD thesis. It's the documentation, all the process is quite complex, and it's so deep in the regulatory side of it that dealing with that it's always been quite scary. So we decided to keep that in our side, like the pit crew of the Formula One team. We are that team that is dealing with the complexity. For example, doing intellectual property, understanding what to do, how to do it. If you want to protect in one country or another country, how to do it. We decided to keep it that within the team, so we can keep the simpler way of doing things on the face of the process, so the people were able to participate without knowing all these kind of mechanisms and without knowing the things that you have to do. Open innovation workshops, idea management, training and promotion. All those things are quite difficult in a day-to-day basis. So we decided to change, and we're dealing with that. At the end, what we want to do is that the innovation team is not the team that is actually having the ideas, is not the team that is actually doing the innovation, is the team that is helping everyone to be successful. So we pass from maybe one or two good ideas from one or two people that were knowing the innovations details to 400, 500 people in the company that are able to innovate, that are able to present new ideas and are able to be successful because they're going to be able to implement those ideas, those projects, and to make them real. Then we decided also to simplify the way that we connect, because as I was mentioned before, we understand that having alliances is the way to increase our capacities, to increase the actual resources that we're having, the amount of people working within the projects. I like to say that at the moment I can have maybe 300 or 400 people working for our projects, but only 30 of those 400 are within the company. The rest of those people are in other companies, in institutes, government part of what we're having alliances, innovations and research centers, also our clients, industry associations, etc. So we decided that we were going to increase our network, and in this slide you can see the name of some of the companies and institutes and entities that we are working with, and for sure maybe I'm missing more than double of the names, but the idea was to show that we decided to increase our connections and to make it simpler. So we were bringing to the table a lot of resources, a lot of people, and a lot of knowledge. So we were able to accelerate the path of the progress of the projects that we were having. We were also able to bring really disruptive ideas to Essentia and to increase the production rate that we were having in our projects. We understood that innovation isn't the process, it's the ecosystem. And I like this picture. I took it from LinkedIn, from this Gaping Boyd design thing. But I like it a lot because actually it's what we're doing. We decided to simplify the innovation process and to make it part of a whole ecosystem. And with that, we end up having really good results. We innovate to create our future because we understood that all those ideas that the people were having and they were not able to implement because of the complexity were actual good ideas to increase our successful rate within each area. If for example, if the production people wanted to reduce cost or to increase yield or something like that, we were setting the future, because if we were able to reduce costs or to increase productivity, increase yield, for example, we were able to compete in a better manner. We were able to have a real advantage against our competence. So we were able to increase our business. So we decided to do it so we can create our future. And now everyone in the company understand that, and they are part of that, of creating the future together. This slide is a picture of pictures of actual things that were happening, the workshops, the specific projects and initiatives that we've been working on. As you can see, there's something related to circular economy, intellectual protection, new ideas like demo days, for example, patents that we already obtained. And this picture I like a lot because 5 years ago, if I was here telling the story, this slide will be a blank slide. There were nothing happening at that moment, actual production. Now we can say that we are doing, I don't know how many, but maybe 50, 60 different things at the same time in parallel. We increase our innovation production, we increase our participation, we increase our connections, we increase the things that we were able to do. And also we were able to build something that is, for me, it's so important for the innovation process, that is trust. We start delivering a lot of small results, small winnings, a lot of low-hanging fruits that we were just able to catch. And after that, we gained trust from the company, from the board. And now when we are presenting new and crazy ideas to the board, to the company, they are just saying, okay, go ahead, do it. Because now they trust in the innovation process. They trust in that we are able to deliver the things. They trust that we are able to change the company with these kind of processes. And they also trust that every single person at the company, at the Scientia, is able to present a new idea and is able to deliver and to make real those ideas. So at the end, we innovate to grow. Those are actual numbers that we had on those rankings that I was mentioning before. 6 years ago, as you can see, we were in the 65th position of the list, quite low. Now, for 3 years in a row, we are in the top 10. And that's quite good. We like that. Not because of the picture again, not because we're able to be in the media and to be in, I don't know, maybe an Instagram publication or something like that. It's because that we identify the gap. And when we decided to simplify the way that we do things, we also increase our successful ratio. And now we're having better results as a company. We're having more connections. We are doing innovation, open innovation. We are doing, actually, for example, last year we create with some other companies, we create a climate tech accelerator entity. And now we're running pilots with small companies. And now we're doing something that a lot of things actually that we in the past weren't able to do it. And actually in the past we never imagined that we were able to do the things that we're doing now. At the moment, I can say that we already changed the company, but it's all just the beginning. It's always a ongoing process. And for sure, no matter if we're going to get to the top 3 of these rankings, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that we close the gap, and now we're actually leading innovation within Colombia, and also trying to connect in the whole Latin American region some other companies, and to improve their capacities as well, so we can together improve our innovation ratio in Latin America and in Colombia. Well, that was it. Thanks for the attention. I saw that there were a couple of questions, so let me stop sharing so we can discuss or at least answer.
Thank you very much, Manuel. It was very interesting to see all the evolution of the innovation system, innovation process, how you are connecting now with even more stakeholders across the Latin American ecosystem. So we have a couple of questions. I think Ron has a couple, so let me give the floor to Ron. Ron, do you want to ask the questions? You are on mute. You are on mute, Ron.
Manuel, thank you for the presentation, very insightful. And as we all try to move to managing a more complex ecosystem, the question I have is, how do we get management aligned or the team aligned with how we manage all those connections? We simplify the process, but then we have a very complex ecosystem in which not everybody is our friend. Some of them are trying to do something different. Some of them have personal motivations. The way we move innovation through the system, where we create a digital twin, all of those things are pretty complex. How do you keep that manageable for Essentia?
I think that the key issue was, as I said before, to build trust.
Trust.
Because we do have big goals, we do have big things that we want to do and to happen, but to get there, it could take maybe 3-5 years. So you can't wait 5 years to deliver some results. So we decided to I forget the word in the moment. Well, like to spread the whole process and to change the goals. So one big goal is made out of 1,000 small goals. So we were delivering several results, like in a 10 basis. So every week, every month, we were saying we were able to do that, we were able to do this. And with that evolving results process, we were gaining trust. And when having that trust within the company, within the board, they were able to say, okay, go ahead and do something else. Go ahead and do that is a little bit crazier than the previous thing. And with the trust, we were able to bring more disruptive ideas into the table. But also, we understand that all the complexity of the ecosystem can be quite frightening for the company. So in the alliances process, we decided to bring companies that are experts in a specific part of innovation. So we have them as consultants, but as the whole time consulting process of Essentia, and they're working with us as if they were part of the actual company in a regular basis. So, for example, talking about contracts, we can have 3 to 5 year contract. So we know that we're gonna work with those guys for 3 to 5 years in a constant basis. So they're actual part of the company. So when the management see that you're able to run 50, 60 different projects at the same time, and all of those projects are advancing in a good path, they're having results, they understand that you have under control all the process. But we know that for ourselves was quite complicated because our team is a small team, but we needed more hands to do that. So we decided to include those companies that were experts.
Thank you very much, Manuel, and thank you, Ron, for the question. We also have Adi here. Adi, welcome, and go ahead.
Sure. First of all, Manuel, thank you for a very insightful presentation. Let me start with an observation and then my question. I really like the fact that your title is VP of Growth and not VP of Innovation. Hopefully I'm correct there. And in the next slide, you introduce your family and you talked about the inspiration that drive innovation. And really, when I think about innovation, those are the two components. It's really about growth fueled by inspiration. And it was interesting, kind of the first two slides send that message. So I just want to highlight that. I think that's an important lesson for all of us innovation practitioners to take, always to think about the inspiration for innovation to really provide the fuel, but the outcome, which is really about growth. It's not innovation for innovation's sake. And I think once you have those two, it's really a solid foundation for innovation. I would like to follow up on the trust comment that was just discussed, and just expand the question a little bit. When I think about the challenges for innovation in, I call it large traditional companies or companies in traditional industries that grew based on operational excellence, based on success in their industry with kind of long-standing practices. To introduce innovation, obviously it's quite challenges. There's a lot of skepticism about it. It sometimes fly kind of against the organizational cultural grain. So I'm interested in getting a sense, how did you kind of build that trust, enthusiasm, and support for innovation within the organization internally?
I think that going back to the slide with the book for babies of first words, I think that when you connect and talk in a simpler manner, when you explain things in a really easy way, and when you avoid going into the details and the complexity, you can encourage people to participate because, as I said, they're not afraid. And I think the first thing that you need to eliminate of the equation is fear. When you eliminate that, people stop being reluctant to participate, because that was happening in the past. That was happening that people were saying, okay, I have an idea, but I have to do so many things to implement that simple idea that it was quite boring. And people said, I don't want to participate. Now, all those things need to be done, but the person with the idea doesn't have to deal with that because we're doing it. So it was like a virus. So the first thing that we did in a simpler way was contagious, and there was a second and a third, and now they're calling the innovation team for everything, and now it's part of the way to think in a daily basis. There's not a single process or area within the company that is not calling us to help them do things differently. Everything, like also financial taxes, how to do taxes differently, audits, for example. We have worked with the audit team to help them then do different things and to run the audits in a different manner. So doing that, we change like the actual way of think, the train of thought of people, eliminating fear of the equation. And with that, we've been successful.
And you also mentioned, just a very quick follow-up question, there are a couple of other questions on the chat. You mentioned those, I wouldn't call it small wins, but results that were created along the way. I don't know if there's an example or two that you want to share with the group, just to give a sense of kind of how your team is able to create impact.
Yeah, I have two examples that the team is creating impact. The first one, as I mentioned at the beginning, and in Houston, attending a chemical recycling conference. And maybe 3 or 4 years ago, when we first mentioned this kind of innovation process to the company, this is real. I mentioned this to my boss, and at that moment he was like, what, are you crazy? What the hell is chemical recycling? We have nothing to do with that. And we decided to do it, to go on. And we started thinking on that we were needing a big plant and huge facilities and a lot of investment and capex to have this kind of processes. And during the run of the project, we find that we were able to do it in a different way. We found these smaller companies in Colombia that actually one company that was intended for a different purpose, they went into bankruptcy, but we find that the equipment that they had were able to change the process. That is so technical, but they were able to change the process to, instead of running tires pyrolysis, to do plastic pyrolysis. And we started to work with those guys, and instead of delivering the actual chemical recycling process by 2027, that was the goal, we delivered it last year. So we were 4 years ahead of our main goal. Now we are running the scale up process. So we want to be able to deliver more quantity of polymers that are being produced on this technology, but it's now reality. And the first impact that is a company that was broke, now is actually running. And when that company, and we published some things in the media, 14 different other companies appeared and contact us because they were able to do the same. And now we have 5 of those companies in our network, and we're trying to develop those companies so they can grow. And when they grow, we are going to grow. So we're impacting the business ecosystem in Colombia. And the second example is also part of the sustainability projects that we're having in our company at Essentia. We already start a mechanical recycling facility nearby Bogota. And that specific facility runs with post-consumer plastics. So to be able to have the feedstock, we had to develop a supply chain for that, working with actual plastic pickers. In Colombia, we have around 100,000 plastic pickers. Those are vulnerable and poor people. And we've been working with those guys. At the moment, we have impacted like 10,000 of those guys to increase their benefits and to increase their quality of life. And for example, in Cartagena, like 6 or 7 years ago, we started working with an association of those plastic pickers. And we have a video, I don't have it here, but maybe in some other occasion I can share it. The way they talk about the process of helping them to be financial, like independence. It's incredible the way that they have improved their quality of life, because they were so poor a few years ago, and actually people in the streets, they were rejecting them. But now they associate, and because of the whole process, they're having, for example, uniforms, and they have specific clothing for that, and they look better. And just with that, they're feeling nice. They're feeling that their quality of life have improved a lot, that they want to keep doing that, to contact more plastic pickers so they can also feel the same. So we're impacting also the social part and the poor side of Colombia, trying to increase the quality of life of everyone. Those are 2 examples.
Fascinating. Let me turn it back to Carolina. I see there are a couple of questions in the chat by Nicholas and Randall. So Carolina, back to you.
Sure. I think we have maybe time for one more question, Manuel. The question is from Randall from Philippines. So how were you able to actually promote or market, that he's saying, innovation in the different departments across the organization to make sure that you have the support that you needed and people involved in the different initiatives around innovation? So what were the 2 or 3 tactics you used or strategies to be able to involve different areas in the organization?
Well, that's a good one because I like to promote the team a lot. So we a couple of years ago we had of the directive team, we had 2 meetings in a week, and I was always telling to the management team what we were doing, small things. So telling that we were participating in this kind of process of, we run a workshop with the maintenance equipment, something small, but every single meeting I was promoting the innovation team, telling what the team was doing every single time. So if you, every single meeting, every 2 days, are listening that something is happening with the innovation team and something different is happening each time with a different area, with a different project, with a different process, they were interested in participating. So they were saying, okay, you already did this with the maintenance team, but can you also work with the quality team? Can you also work with the manufacturing team? Can you include us? We are the financial team. Can you include us in that? And doing that in a steady manner for those years, for all these years, now everyone is connected. So we were like marketing the people, actual people. For example, Milena Ortega, she's the head of the innovation team. We were marketing Milena, telling to the company that she was so good, that she has so many capacities, and she can help all the teams to improve their processes. So we were like improving the value of Milena, and also with the R&D team, Enrique. Well, Enrique is doing this, then he's doing that, then and with those kind of words, we were increasing the value of the whole team and increasing the perceived value of the processes that we were able to help them to do. And also we start to participate in several different kind of conferences, and I was sending, not always me participating and giving the speaks, giving the conference. No, I was sending the team to participate. And as I said before, Milena was one of the main objectives of trying to show innovation in the company. I know she's even participating in more conferences and panels and stuff than myself. She's now even more famous, let's say like that, because of that process. And now she's like the image of the trust that the company have in the innovation team and the innovation process.
Amazing, Manuel. So it's definitely a team effort. And of course, you have been able to showcase that across the organization. So thank you very much, Manuel. Let me just give you last minutes for last message, maybe to wrap up the session. Any conclusions, key takeaways that you want the crowd to leave this session with?
I just want to say that if we want to be innovative, we need to do it together. We should always trust in the power of alliances, and also trust in the looking for the low-hanging fruits in a constant manner, that at the end you will be able to deliver a big result.
Okay, Manuel, thank you very much again, and thank you everyone for being here. We will keep in touch then and see you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, see you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Manuel.